Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on here, man. I know it's a big
Zach,
deal.
Zach Brzykcy, and that's
That's
spelled
me.
exactly like it sounds, right?
You can say that. Many people I know just do Brixy. That's what it sounds like. But the spelling, my old Polish ancestors had a different way. So,
Let me just go ahead and
um,
clarify this for everyone that's listening, and that's gonna all the million people that are gonna listen to this and look you up. Zach's last name has 0 vowels. It's
that
literally,
is a true statement.
it doesn't even make grammatical sense. There
No, I
is
think it's
not a,
shortened. And somewhere in history they shortened it, but they
yeah, and they
forgot to
just
add
forgot to
a
leave,
vowel.
yeah, not an
Like,
I, not an
we
E,
don't
no
need that.
nothing. No,
No,
it's a great last name, Bricks for short. But
it's
dude, I
special.
appreciate you coming
Appreciate
on.
that, man.
Um, I mean, we've obviously been friends for since freshman year of college. Man, we've had some good times,
Ever
some good
since,
laughs.
ever since the very first day I met you. Hey,
Oh,
man, you mind if I borrow your truck?
wow, yeah, we can go ahead and start off with that, man. Yeah, I remember that. We were sitting there shagging balls during BP, and
Dude, no, I think it was before that.
what?
It was like day one. We were so outside of was it Cochrane? Yeah.
Yeah,
We're walking to the field and just met you like 5 minutes ago. Hey, do you mind if I borrow your truck to go drive 20 minutes away to do something? And wasn't the best first impression, but here we are now.
to say the least. I thought because at that time I was very anal about that thing, and I just like looked at
I
Gavin
know.
and Derek, and they're like, "Bro, who is this guy?"
Who's this
Like,
guy?
who
Hey, I'm
is
on the
this?
team. Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
nice to
The
meet you.
thing
I'm
is, though,
Bricks.
I know for 100% of a fact, certainty, I would have let you borrow my truck if you asked.
Okay, let's not get
But
into semantics, Let's not get into this
that's just
whole
that's just how it is,
you're
man.
you're a better guy than me. I don't know what to tell everybody. That's a known fact.
Yeah, sorry. It's just
No.
how it is.
Okay, yeah. So we dropped the pin on the first day of college. What is how I like to start every conversation with people. Even obviously I already know
Yeah.
your story, but just to hear you talk about it. What's your background, man? How'd you get from where you were, bumblefuck nowhere, North Carolina? How'd you get from
It is
there
quite small.
all the way to West Palm, man?
Let's see, man. So grew up in a small town, Taylorsville, if you've ever heard of it. It's near Hickory. There's a more well known. But let's see. I played baseball my entire life. Always had the dream of going pro. Always looked up to Derek Jeter as my favorite player of all time. Um, and you know this from experience. You know, you play ball from the time you're what 4, 5, 6
Yep.
up until college, and
Yeah.
it's 10 plus months a year. You got spring travel, all this stuff, traveling all year round, everywhere. You got practice, school. So come junior year of high school, you know, I was just kind of burned out. I'd played my entire life, and just the time commitment at that point was so much. I mean, I had school and then go out to practice, and I'm out there till 7:30 each night. And I get home, I'm tired, have to do homework, and I'm like, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. You know, I'm just so wiped clean of any spark I had for baseball. Um, don't know why it went away, but that junior year I just was done. So made the ambitious decision to quit. Looking back, junior year is the worst time to quit for baseball. I don't know. It's nowadays it's probably sooner, but
Yeah,
back
now it's
then,
like eighth
junior year
grade.
was the dude, eighth grade. I mean, fifth grade. Hey, this guy's a prospect, man. Let's
Yeah,
check him out.
dude.
Um, but I mean, that's the major time for your career to be recruited to a college. And I mean, I didn't know much about that. I kind of saw myself going to college, but didn't know the process very well. So I quit. I was like, you know what, I'm done. I want to try something else. I want to do other stuff in my life that I might enjoy. And obviously, I didn't do that.
Yeah,
With
what were
my
those
new free
things?
time,
I was gonna ask you what were those things? Did it rhyme with
to be quite
stay
frank,
inflation?
my you think maybe someone's free time might read more books or go work out, see the world. I did the complete opposite. I was a recluse pretty much. I went home and played PS3, played video games with my buddies for about, I'm not lying, I would go home, have a Pop Tart and a soda, and hop on Black Ops 2.
Until when?
I'm not lying. So I'd probably play. So I get home what 3:30, play till about 7, Hey, Zach, dinner's ready. All right, run to the kitchen, eat dinner, scoop it up,
That's the
have
only time
a.
you were running, huh?
That's it. That's it. I did no other running besides that, man. Went to the kitchen and then had ice cream or some dessert, just something sweet, and then right back to my bedroom. Lock the door, close the door, go play PS3 till I don't know 10:30, 11 o'clock. Eat fast food every day. Just the most unhealthy lifestyle anyone could ever imagine. And someone who works out or used to work out, every other day, had a good routine, stopped doing that, and pretty much I put on some weight. And I was probably like two. I mean, I was always a pretty like stocky guy, but I put on a lot of weight, a lot of fat, didn't do a lot, and I got up to about 305 pounds, 310 at my heaviest. And I mean, that was a year of doing that lifestyle, pretty much about no baseball, just fast food and games. But I don't know what really flipped the switch to um to make me want to lose weight and become a healthier person, have a healthier lifestyle. And when I made that decision, it wasn't because of baseball. I didn't like during that time period of not playing, I couldn't watch baseball. I couldn't think about it, talk about it. It was just a weird like mental block I had that I didn't want to even think about and put myself into. But um, I remember when I started to lose weight, it was just to become a healthier person, feel better about myself. I mean, when you're that obese, you just your confidence, mental health, physical health is just so low, and you don't really want to do anything else besides like go in your room and just kind of like hide yourself. And like looking back, I didn't know that at the time, but it definitely hurt my mental health and physical health. I mean, it was just so bad to be at that state. But something switched in my head. I'm like, you know what? Enough is enough. I started to lose weight slowly but surely. I would, run a little more each day, a little more each week. I didn't hit the gym that heavy just because I was already strong enough. But I mean, cardio and the major thing that I tell people is my diet. I mean, I was eating so bad, chugging soda like it's water, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I had a blast doing it. Didn't know much about the food I was putting in my body, but yeah, the diet aspect to losing weight is more important almost than cardio or working out. Um, I mean, I'd meal prep. I'd have chicken and like broccoli pretty much every day at lunch. Am I allowed to tell a story on here? That's kind of
Dude,
that's
you
not
can
graphic, but all
no,
right.
tell yeah, absolutely, bro.
So
This is free game, bro.
all right.
I
So
posted a clip
junior
today.
year.
I posted a clip today on the Instagram of my sixth episode guest, Alvin, talking about his wife giving natural birth. And his metaphor was if you think about it, she just took a 8 pound shit. And so, yeah, bro,
All
you could
right, fair
talk
enough.
about,
It's not that graphic, but
no, yeah,
uh, so I don't even know when it was. Probably like fall of junior year. So I'm like in the midst of this just bad time,
pushing three
and
hundo, eating peanut M and
yeah,
M's like it's your job. I mean,
yeah,
we'll get into that, but we still had some peanut M and M's in our day. It's
we had a lot of stuff in our day that
yeah.
was
Sorry to
quite
interrupt.
enjoyable. No, you're fine. This may have been later, actually, maybe in the spring. So I like had just started to turn the corner to lose weight, and I was so desperate to lose weight, I would do anything. So um, I had an SAT on Saturday morning. You know the SAT routine. You
Yeah,
took the SAT, and they're at like 8 a.m. So this is horrible to admit, but losing weight, I just thought, oh, I just won't eat. I'd just not starve myself, but I guess that's what it is. But I just wouldn't eat, trying to just deprive my body of food so it has to lose the fat, which is horrible. Don't do that, by the way. It's a terrible way to lose weight. But so at
not
this
very
point, it had been
sustainable.
two. No, it's not. You might die. Um, so I haven't eaten in 2 days at this point, and it's Saturday morning, and I wake up and I'm just like drained. I have no energy. I'm lightheaded. I'm like, this is bad. And I have an SAT, the huge test in an hour. So smart me, rather than make a nice bowl of eggs and like granola and fruit, I just poured a big old bowl of cereal, like huge mixing bowl of cereal, and just scarfed it down. Got to the SAT, feeling fine, feeling a lot better that I have food in me. About midway through the SAT, something hits me.
Oh, okay.
Something hits me bad, and I like just raise my hand up. I'm like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And they're like, "I'm sorry, I can't let you do that. You know, this is middle of the test. Can't let you go to the bathroom." I'm like, "Look, this is an emergency. I need to go right now." And she's like, "All right, make it quick." So I get up really quick, go to the bathroom, and the way the hallway was set up in our high school, the bathrooms were kind of like a walk-in bathroom. And you
Yeah,
know those bathrooms are very acoustic. You could hear a lot of sound going in there.
they reverberate.
And it did. And the table to check in with the SAT was right outside the bathroom door. So the two ladies checking me in definitely heard the absolute abomination going on in there, and finished it. Just looked at them. They kind of smiled at me. They knew what happened, and I just went back to my room and finished the test. But
Bro.
uh, it
the
was
two
bad,
the,
man.
the two faces I would pay to see. Number one, I would pay to see the interaction between can I use the bathroom? No, can't leave. Listen here, lady. This
I
is
was
gonna
like,
get
I
real
need to
bad
go.
real
It's either
fast.
in here or in the bathroom. You pick.
This is gonna get real bad real fast, lady. You better let me go. And then the second
It's
face
bad.
I want to see is the ladies or whoever is working the check-in desk when they're sitting there and they just hear whatever noise came out of that bathroom.
I'm not even gonna try and replicate what the noises were, but like they
Bro,
were smiling, but it was like kind of like disbelief of what they just heard.
they're probably thinking, "Oh my god, I hope I never have a son." No, but that brings up a. I mean, do you think that had something to? I mean, because that's kind of an embarrassing thing, and then you start to break that down a little bit. You're like,
Oh,
wait a
dude.
second, why did I even wasn't? Why was I in this position? Oh wait, it's because I was fat and I was trying to like essentially starve myself, and then I. And when you say a mixing bowl of cereal, I believe you. You probably pulled out like you
Oh
probably
yeah.
pulled out like
Do you know
dozens.
that? Do you know the white bowl that I left at your apartment?
Yeah.
All right, so there's like three of them. It's like a big, medium, and a small. So the one that I had at our apartment was small. It was the
Oh,
medium one. So it's like, I mean, I don't know how big it was. Just
for
dumped a
people
half a
listening,
bowl
this
of
is
cereal.
like a 10-inch diameter bowl of cereal
It's big. It might as well be like a mixing bowl for
for
making
like
cake. But
salads and stuff. Yeah. No,
yeah,
that's
huge.
so yeah. You had that experience. What was next?
After that, I kind of realized that hey, there are different methods to lose weight than just starve yourself. And I had been doing other stuff. I've been eating a lot cleaner, but I think the desperation got to me a little bit, and I just was tired of feeling this way. Um, and that's what it came to, what my resort was. But after that, definitely kind of took a step back and realized that it's a journey. It's a long process to lose. I've lost about 100 pounds, and it's a long process. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a week. It took 14 months, plus or minus a few, but I think that was like the low point that kind of flipped another switch. That hey, like this is not what you need to do. Um, so let's see. That's in the spring. So still, I had no desire to come back to baseball. And then during the summer, still losing weight, still kind of getting back into shape, and it was probably August, I think, midsummer day. Like school starting in a few weeks, and my sister Sunday afternoon, she's like, "Hey, you want to go play catch outside?" And I haven't picked up a baseball in almost a year at this point. Um, I'm like, you know what? Why not? We'll go play catch. And it was kind of like a light bulb like went off in my head. I threw like one throw to my sister, and I like something sparked in me.
You're
I was
like,
like, oh my gosh,
was that
I
94?
miss this feeling. Maybe like 54, but
Bro, but knowing you, dude, like, and we'll get into this later. Knowing you, I bet you that was like a 20 plus inch vertical break fastball with like probably like
just took off,
91, and you're like, holy cow.
dude. I don't even know. I don't remember that much about it, but I just knew like something came inside me that hey, this is what I'm. Can we edit this out? We can't edit, can we?
Sorry, it's very immature of me.
No, it's not. That's the right reaction to something
What were you saying?
that was said like
Can
that.
you use it?
All right, let me go back. I'm gonna redact that previous statement and just act like I
Dude,
didn't say
I'm
that.
literally crying. Oh wow, wow. What were you
A
saying, bro?
feeling
Seriously, yo, be
was
serious. Seriously.
all right. When I threw that baseball for the first time in months, I can't even say it. Something within me ignited.
There you
There we
go.
go.
There you go.
Man,
Eloquent.
that was
Eloquent.
hard. That was hard.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
but from that moment on, I kind of realized that what I'd been doing in the past was something I've always loved. I've done it for my entire life. I've played baseball more in my life than I haven't. So, um, I guess in a way, I needed that break to kind of find myself and find myself away from baseball. And I mean, what I learned and what I went through still heavily affects what I do today and how I eat and how I, you know, nurture my body and how I kind of go about nutrition. Um, so let's
Well, just
see.
just to go back a little bit. I mean, dude, I've never been in that situation. I've never lost 100 pounds. I've never been in the situation where I feel like I wanted to or needed to and then had to actually execute on a daily basis. That is what I would believe to be a monumental task. That's not an insignificant thing. And I remember like hearing that part of your story made me respect and seeing there's one particular picture and like we used to joke about it and stuff, but seriously, dude, like losing 100 pounds is not an insignificant thing. That's very difficult. It requires discipline. It requires consistency. It requires resilience, and to be able to do that is pretty freaking cool, man. And like to not only for yourself, but just like for people in your family, people in your friend group, people in your town to be like, oh wow, dude, I haven't seen Brixie in a year. Look,
Yeah.
he's really been working hard, man. He's been like actively trying to make himself and his life better. And the question that I want to ask based on that is, was there a moment after or around the time that you had been like you'd come down 100 pounds where you were like, holy cow, like I really did that? Was there a moment that you remember, like the emotions of that?
Um, honestly, the the picture that sticks out to me the most that I remember was side note, I would take like probably bi-weekly photos or sorry, bi-monthly photos of like myself, my progress, you know, just my torso up just to see
Hmm.
like how I look throughout my process. But um kind of midway through freshman fall, I was still taking those photos and I remember I still have it on my phone. I took one of myself and I look completely like just skinny.
Hmm.
And I pull it out every once in a while just to like look at it to see like, oh my gosh, I really lost this weight. But like seeing that photo, I like could see kind of abs for once. I could see
Yeah.
like striations in my torso. And I think seeing that kind of was an eye opener that, you know, I did this. I went through hell and back pretty much to be here where I am. And I think that was like one of the biggest eye openers for me was seeing that photo and like looking back and like scrolling up the past year and seeing how my body's changed like week by week, month by month, and seeing that. So I think that photo um, definitely was like the one of the end goals for me was seeing that photo. I can show it to you after this, but
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
um,
there's also like just obviously having known you when you came into college. No, I mean I hadn't. I mean, obviously you and I are both like bigger dudes. Like I mean,
yeah,
I'm pushing 240, 235 right now. You and I early in college were pushing 225, 230,
yeah,
235. So we were both bigger dudes. I would have never assumed that you would have been like the skinnier kid, but I wouldn't have assumed that you would have been that big. And then
yeah.
I do remember there being a time where like, holy cow, didn't you get down to like in college, like 205, something like that in college, or was
Two
it a little?
like 205 was my lowest that freshman year because we were. I mean, we
Yeah.
had a lot of running, we had a lot of
Mm.
working out. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and then so the cool thing about that though is like I met you here. You might have even gone a little bit further down while I met you, but then just building your body back up in a
Hmm.
way more sustainable and performance.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, dude, the story I like to tell is me and Ian, who episode 5 of this podcast, who's for those listening, me, Ian, and Brixie live together. Uh, three really good friends, man. Me and Ian and Brixie would lift, like actually strength train together in the weight room, and me and
yeah, we
Ian would
did.
be on like our second work set, like really struggling on like split squats or something. And Brixie would be like, we're like, hey, what are you at? He's like, it's probably like my second. I think I got one more warm up. And we're like, motherfucker, dude, are you serious? So
Oh
just
man,
to put a little perspective, dude, you are a strong mother. You're a strong dude. are a literal workhorse. I don't know how you have the mobility in your hips that you do to be able to
I'm a
throw.
mobile guy for like a bigger dude. I don't
Yeah,
know where it came
100%.
from, but
That's why you throw
um,
100, bro. But no, just all that to say is it was cool to see and to learn about your past where you
yeah,
got really big and then lost the weight, but then also just took the steps necessary to make it into a more sustainable and performance based physique and
definitely,
like
yeah.
physicality, which obviously is paying dividends now. So I think that's
I
really
mean,
cool.
even after I lost the weight, I didn't really hit the gym that heavy. I didn't work out my senior year to replenish the weight that I lost with muscle. So I think when I got to college, I had no muscle, but I lost all this fat. So the next 2 years, I put back on the muscle, so that kind of got me back up to I was like 220, 225 in college.
Shout out to
So
Coach Neil.
Coach Neil, man,
Yeah.
he, some tough days with him, but
Some good
um,
days.
I remember you asked me about the recruiting process. I think too about how I got to VT.
Yeah. Polish Thunder.
Um, if you know, you know, Polish Thunder, baby. Um, so I go back into baseball in the fall and not even thinking about college. I just wanted to play baseball, just to play again. And I think when I got to the fall in high school, one of my first like scrimmages or inter squads, I had a JUCO there and like a small, I think D3, and they offered me on the spot. They watched my outing and offered me like a small scholarship, but it was still an offer. And my high school recruiting person, shout out to Lackey. Um, he said, "Dude, just wait. Like, let's pump the brakes. Let's like think about this." And boy, did I ever pump the brakes because I didn't sign to Virginia Tech until like August 2nd, I think, going into senior year
Yeah.
or going into freshman year. Sorry. So I had 2 weeks left to decide because the whole new coaching staff came in. We had to wait, and I kind of put all of my eggs in one basket. I was like, "Hey, take a chance." Went there, and it kind of worked out for me. But definitely an
I remember
unusual process to go into college.
so myself and all of our other classmates in that class got there for summer academy, or at least most of them. I think
Mm,
maybe one or two others didn't, but like 10 or 11 of us have been hanging out the whole summer and just getting to know each other, becoming really good friends. And we thought we were the class, right? And then all of a sudden, like, I mean, a week before school starts, one
yeah.
of one of the guys gets a text like, "This is gonna be our roommate," and it's a picture
Oh,
of you.
JoJo, man.
Yeah, and we're like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Who does he think he is? Like, what a douche! He looks like a douche. Like, this guy looks like he sucked." Like, we're just like,
I think
"What the hell?" It it
that
was it
hurts my heart,
was
man. No, I'm
it was
kidding.
nonsensical shit talk. It was not
I mean, dude, I feel
it
like I'd
wasn't.
do the same thing if I was there all year, all summer, and had this new kid come up. I'm like,
And
yeah,
then
who's this
the
guy?
first day we meet you, we're like, "Wait a second, this dude's like one of the best dudes all of us have met." So, but can you tell a story about when you were your senior year? What were your stats looking like, bro? And I want to preface this by saying you just took a year off of baseball,
All right,
and then you
so
come back for your senior year. Run down the absolute domination that
I
you.
don't remember. I know these stats because I've talked about this before. I wanted like I think I had 55 innings, 110 strikeouts, and like a point like 7 ERA or something. I
Bro,
don't know, or
that's
point
absurd.
6. I don't even know.
That
I
is
I
absurd.
have to fact check me on that. I don't know what they are, but
But
yeah, it was
either
a
way,
fun
I
year,
mean,
man.
dude, to even have the pitching coach at Tech come look at you after taking a year off baseball and all that stuff. I remember the number that I remember you telling me is pretty consistent with that. So if that's any indication of the truth of it, but that's like, dude, that is absolutely pure domination. Like these what county is Taylorsville in?
Alexander County. Alexander
What is there,
County,
one high
baby.
school in all of Alexander County?
There's one high school for the entire county. Yeah.
That's my high school is one of like 22 or 24 in my county.
No way.
Yeah, and each
That
each high
doesn't
school
make.
had
That's
like
unfathomable.
2,000, 3,000 kids. Yeah.
That
Um,
just goes to show, man.
yeah, but I mean that brings up a good point. One of the questions I wanted to ask you is obviously you mentioned you grew up in a small town on
Yeah.
some land, very in a lot of ways very different from my upbringing and a lot of the upbringings from people that will listen to this. What what was it like growing up in a small town very rural environment, having nature at your fingertips. And I mean, like
Yeah.
from what I understand, your house, like you can pretty much just walk out the door and find a trail to go hike on.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. I mean, I don't know what the population is now, but the population of where I'm from is like probably 18,000 people. Not even that. I don't even know how much it is. But I mean, I'm from the middle of nowhere. Like my house, we have now we have two neighbors, but um, I mean, yeah, you pretty much walk outside and you're right in the middle of the woods. There's not much there besides just foothills and a lot of deer there, some black bear mixed in
yeah,
there. But
a
I
lot of
mean,
donkeys too.
shout out to Cletus, baby.
Cletus.
Cletus,
The
man,
my
what
favorite
a
story
legend.
about that is Cletus is your donkey that you guys used to have, and
Yeah.
we were posing the question on the bus ride one time about like it. Oh, the North and the South, just the difference in like niceness. Like the people in the North are just they suck. They're all mean, whatever. And I asked Ian and Chris, like from New Jersey and Boston, like, hey, if your neighbor came outside while you're getting the mail, would you say hey? And they're like, hell no. What do you mean? Like, what do you think you're gonna say hey to your neighbor?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's strange because I would definitely say hey to my neighbor. And Brixie's like, dude, every time I leave my house, I say, what's up, Cletus? And he does whatever noise donkeys do back.
That's a
No, we
true
love that.
statement.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I mean, it's something that I very much so am striving for to have land and live in a more
Oh yeah.
rural environment. And I just think it's very fascinating. You're obviously a very family centered person. Like your family is
Yeah.
extremely important to you, which I'm sure has something to do with the fact that it was not just y'all out there, but like it wasn't like a whole city
No.
vibe
Yeah.
where there's a ton of people. So speak on that a
Mm-mm.
little bit
I
if you
think
can.
also, um, growing up in a small town, you're kind of not censored, but you're kind of just used to that small town. There's not a lot of change. There's not a lot of different things going on. So going to college, going to a huge college like Virginia Tech, it was definitely an eye opener for me to see different cultures and people from all around the world or country,
Yeah,
pretty much. Just seeing that, so that was definitely a new thing for me. But I loved it. I mean, it was fun.
that's one of my favorite things, or most the things I'm most grateful for in terms of going to college at VT and playing ball there is think about where like all of our friends. I mean, we got friends in Texas, California, Washington, Florida,
Miami, yeah,
my all over Florida, Boston,
Massachusetts,
New York, New Jersey, like all these, like Georgia, literally everywhere. So I just think that's one of the
everywhere.
coolest parts about that. And even for me, it was kind of the opposite though. Going to Tech, obviously Blacksburg's 70, 80,000 people.
Yeah.
Atlanta's 7, 8 million or something like that. So it was like it was a culture shock in the opposite direction. But for me, it brought me more towards y'all side. Like I was like, dude, I love this. It's got everything I need for me to be like self sustaining. Like I can go to the grocery store. It's
Yeah.
not like Taylorsville where you got to drive freaking 30 minutes to go to a gas station. Um,
Oh
but
man,
it was cool, man. I really enjoyed it,
I didn't know
and
that.
that's
I didn't know it was such a big impact on you in the
well, dude.
opposite way it was for me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that poses the question: would you rather live in a small town or a city?
Right now,
Hmm.
um, that's tough, man. Eventually, I want to be in a small town. I want to be like secluded
Yeah,
somewhere far out. Right now, I don't mind being in a city just because I'm 20. Side note: today's my birthday, by the way.
wow.
I was
There's
gonna say
no
I'm
way
23, but I'm 24. Today is my birthday. So I'm 24.
you're gonna put me on blast like that for not telling you happy. This is an elaborate ruse for you, just making me look like a piece of
I
shit on my
honestly,
own.
no, I just forgot until I just was about to say I'm a young
Wait,
man. I'm
bro,
about to
happy
say
birthday, dude.
23.
How do I not have that in my calendar?
Hey, it's okay, man. It
I
happens.
feel like an asshole. I'll go ahead and say it.
No, 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 no. You're the furthest from an
Wait,
asshole I've
look,
ever met
bro.
in my life. So
You see that? It says Brixie's birthday. I didn't get a notification.
your
Interesting.
iPhone
But
hates you.
happy birthday, man. Hey, look, here's your present. You can be on the show,
Thank you.
man.
This is a
What a
better
gift.
present than I could ever imagine.
No, I'm kidding.
Um,
This is I should be getting you a gift for coming on, man. But happy birthday. That's freaking awesome.
Appreciate that, man.
24?
It's been 24, man. I'm officially in my mid 20s.
Right on, dude. It's a good place to
Tough.
be. Good
It
place
is
to be.
not the worst place to be, man.
Yeah, so I
Um,
mean, obviously you're in West Palm now, talking about living in a city.
yeah, I just for where I'm at, I like being in the city. There's a lot to do. I mean, West Palm Beach is a fun city. There's the beach. There's a lot to do, a lot of people here. So where I'm at in my life right now, I don't mind being in a larger city. But I do miss being back home. Just it's just so busy and congested here. Like there's traffic, there's so many people. Like doing stuff, it just takes effort. Being back home, I can go at my own pace, do my own thing, not have to worry about X, Y, and Z of what there is to do in the city. But I
Yeah,
think
that's
eventually, yeah, go back to the small town.
so you came
Um,
from the small town and then went to the like a to say Virginia Tech is a bigger city is kind of funny because like it's baby steps, baby steps. But
yeah,
sort of the opposite for me. I came from a city, got exposed to a smaller town, and now I can
yeah,
confidently say that at some point in my life, like I do want to live in a smaller, more close knit community. And I'm not to
definitely.
say that it can't be like on the outskirts of a town or of a city or whatever, but I definitely am more along that vibe. And you've obviously brought up to transition a little bit. You brought up West Palm.
Yeah.
What are you doing down in West Palm, man?
Very unfortunate circumstance as to why I'm here, but what's today's Wednesday? It'd be 13 weeks today. I had Tommy John surgery. Um, so spring training, first live outing in spring training. Do my live BP, about 15, 18 pitches in, throw a pitch, arm starts hurting like a something bad. It hurts. And I feel like I'm pretty tough, and I kind of like didn't think much of it. Took a little break and just like rub the ball up, say, hey, take the hat off, wipe the sweat. Hopefully it goes away. Finish my outing 5 pitches later. Uh, didn't go away. Didn't tell anyone that day, hoping it'd go away overnight, knowing it would not go away. Come in the next day, say, hey, my arm hurts. Got an MRI. 13 weeks later, here we are.
Hey, I want to challenge you on something.
What's
The
that?
the 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 reframe from unfortunate. Like I've tried to really stop saying the word like, oh, unfortunately I can't do this. Unfortunately I'm
Yeah,
here, dude. This is the only other way. This is the only way that it could have happened, and it's the way that it's supposed to happen. The way that I look at it, obviously, this is a little bit in the weeds, but like, dude, in baseball, I mean, think about how many pitchers in the league have not had Tommy John at some point in their career. It's the number is very, very small. So in
and
a
it's
way, you
only yeah, it's going up, and everyone, not everyone, but like
a ton of
the
people.
number of that is increasing, man.
Yeah. So my point is like, dude, find way. Like I would just challenge you to like try to reframe that to be like, dude, fortunately, it's happened right now. I'm feeling really good because the whole idea of it being unfortunate can kind of make you, or whenever I think of things that way, rather, it makes me feel like a victim where it's like, oh, unfortunately, like
Yeah,
the waves of fortune crashed on me as opposed to me just riding the waves of
yeah,
fortune.
and I
But
think
yeah, dude, Tommy John's real, man. Ian spoke about that too on his episode. It's a challenge, man. Especially when you were balling, man. You were full steam ahead, making some really good progress with the Nationals, which is who you're with. So I
yeah,
mean,
down here with the
I remember
Washington
you telling me
Nationals.
what you didn't you like strike out 4 or something like that your first 3 or 4 batters
Yeah, I'm pretty
of that outing?
sure. I think the outing was 5 hitters, 5 pitches each, and I'm pretty sure I went like strike out, like I think like fly out, strike out, and like ground ball, and then I
And then
threw a
just
chain, just one pitch, man.
that's a thing that, and like I mentioned, me and Ian spoke about that, but I'm trying to think of a more relatable injury to people, but there's really like, dude, when you
In
pitch in
sports or just in
baseball,
general,
just the people that are not to NARPs,
dude. Come
non-athletic,
on.
right? I'm kidding. That's a derogatory term. But
Oh man,
in baseball, like specifically pitching, like there is one ligament that you need more than
that's
anything.
it.
Like
That's it.
to be able to do it, you need your UCL. And it's almost like one of those things that's always hanging over every pitcher's head. It's like, I got to do whatever I can to stay away from that, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know, especially when you're feeling really good. I remember I had a similar experience at VCU where I was feeling really good and I threw a pitch and mine was a micro tear, thankfully. It
Mhm.
ended up going away with PT. But I remember being like pretty devastated because I was like,
It's a
I'm
it's
working up
scary,
towards
man.
something. Go through your mindset about like when that happened, man.
So when it very first happened, like deep down to my core, I knew I needed Tommy John right then and there. I was like, this is it. And obviously those thoughts spiral, and I just thought the worst of like, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm never playing again. This is it. I'm done. Um, and in the moment too, I was trying to impress people around me, so I kept going and I finished my outing. Um, but I think as I thought about it more, talked to my agent, this happens so frequently nowadays, and the the doctor had my surgery done. Ian, or had my surgery from. Ian went to him as well. He's one of the best surgeons in the entire world for this
Yeah.
procedure. Knowing that I have him by my side doing it, and just knowing that people have had this injury a billion times and they come back the same, if not better, a lot of the time, made me feel a lot better deep down, knowing that it's okay, just a minor setback. And like you said, the unfortunate circumstance of it, I don't need to say that, because I think this was also an eye opener for me that baseball is not the end all be all in life. I mean, you know that when you're playing ball, that is like, that's it. That's all. Like, one of your main focuses is how can I be the best pitcher I can be. So it definitely forced me to take a step back in my career and kind of think about it as a bigger picture. Learned a lot about myself, about my body, what I need, and what I can do moving forward to prevent injuries like this again, and also make myself a better pitcher and a better man through it all too. And
Yeah.
I've met a lot of great people. I mean, just I made a lot of friends, a lot of relationships down here. So I mean, as shitty as it is that I had surgery, you have to think about the other aspect of it, of that it's
Yeah,
life
dude. I
and
mean,
it happens.
it's it brings up several things to mind, and I don't know if you've listened to the episode with Ian.
Yeah.
It's I mean, he talks about it in a brilliant way, dude. If he I don't know if he says this verbatim, but if he could go back and change it, I'm pretty sure if you asked him right now, today, called him right now and said, "Hey, would you change the fact that you got TJ?" He would say, "Nope." And that's due to the fact that there's just different. Like you ever heard the saying, "The obstacle is the way."
Hmm.
Like it's not an obstruction in the path. It is the path. It's not
Hmm.
like here's the path that we're going on, and then this little rock. No, no, no. It's literally just the path. And for you, what I'm excited, because 13 weeks, for people that don't know, I mean, this is like a 16 month ish recovery, correct?
Yeah, you play catch at 12, or play catch at 6 months, like back in games in 12 months, and then fully 100%, probably like 16.
Yeah. So like 12 to 16 month recovery, that's a long time. And you actually just mentioned it when you're playing ball, dude. Like when you're in the heat of things, and this is relatable to anybody, man. Like when
Yeah.
you're for anybody, like for me, it's been like when I'm doing jujitsu, or like when people are working and they're in a rhythm, it's so hard to detach and take a look up and
Yeah.
out and see what's going on. But this is perhaps an opportunity for you to do that and try to square away a couple other areas of your life
Definitely.
that
Yeah.
will, once you're back healthy and pitching, will be at another higher level, which will allow you to take that next step and so on and so forth. So, dude, I'm this might sound weird, but I would tell Ian to his face as well. I'm like great. I'm not grateful for the fact that it happened. It's I'm sorry that it happened. Um, and that like it wasn't as you planned, but in a way, I'm like very very happy for you that it happened, and I'm
Mhm.
eager and excited to see how you bounce back. Because, dude, another thing to tie it back to what you went through in high school, bro, like you got fat and then you lost the weight. I mean, dude, no,
Mhm.
I mean, call it a spit.
No,
You
I
got
know.
fat
Yeah.
and then you lost the weight. And here's a question for you: has recovering from TJ thus far been less, as, or more difficult than losing 100 pounds?
In all honesty, it's been not as difficult right now. Anyway, I mean, I definitely miss throwing. I miss pitching, but I mean, that's a tough question. I've never even thought about that. But my immediate first thought was, no, it's not as difficult.
Which says something, because think about if it's not as difficult and it's this hard, and I just think it's so cool, bro. And I'm not sitting here saying I'm glad you got to be 300
No,
whatever
I know.
pounds. But the idea that you now know that you literally lost 100 pounds, like that's something that, number one, I hope, let me just say this. If, I hope nobody ever gets to the point where they need to, frankly, but you did. And then you prove to yourself that you can do that, which is, like I've mentioned, a freaking really cool thing, dude. And I'm so glad you came on the podcast and are talking about it, because that's like, I can't relate to that. I don't even know how
Yeah.
difficult that is, dude. I'll try to lose like 10 pounds and I'm like, shit, this is hard, bro. Like it's late at night, dude. I want a banana with some peanut butter and honey. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
I
I've
want
been
an
craving
oatmeal
some
cream pie.
sweets, man.
I want an oatmeal cream
Whoa,
pie, bro.
they don't know about that, man.
No, yeah, but just to tie that up is like, you have this framework now, like this reference, this, that you, okay, dude, I have this tough thing in my life. Okay, well, remember that time I lost 100 pounds in a year and then went to college to be a collegiate baseball player and then now a pro ball player, and doing really well in my career. Dude, you have this such a cool perspective that I think is really, really valuable, and I'm glad you're sharing it. So thank you for that. But also,
You're
I
welcome, man.
hope that like reframe really helps you, because this 13 weeks out of 16 months is you got a long way.
First off, thank you for having me on the show, man, or the podcast. It's been amazing. But as weird as it said, as it appears, the time has flown by. These 13 weeks, and I hate saying, you know, I hate saying that the days blend together and that it's monotony, but it's almost a good thing right now that these first few weeks, months are flying by, because I'm trying to like, I see the end goal, and it's hard though because I want to be there, but I also know that these moments are so important for that end goal that I have to really focus on the details where I'm at right now. But it is flying by so far, um, these first few months, and I know you probably make the days count, don't count the days, that kind of thing. But
It brings to mind a quote that I coined last year, when I was playing at VCU, and it's, he who walks with his eyes on the horizon gets bit by the snake. And what I remember hearing a quote that was similar to that, but not in that exact framework. And what I was thinking about is like, when I walk, if I'm walking barefoot wherever I am, I'm usually looking down. And I
mhm,
think that's like an evolutionary thing. Like we've like it's on purpose that my body instinctively does that to check for different threats, I guess, like snakes,
yeah,
sharp
yeah,
things. And it made me think about what you're talking about. So like that long goal is the horizon, that big goal of pitching in the big leagues, of becoming a black belt, of starting your business, of making X amount of money, of getting married, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's the long goal. That's the horizon. And if you
yeah,
only look up while you're walking, you miss the day to day. You miss the opportunities.
yeah.
You miss the threats that could be avoided,
Mhm.
and that's when you get really, really hurt. Because, like, for example, the way that correlates to you now, in my opinion, is, say you only keep on thinking about your return date, whatever it is. Like, you probably have it memorized. You're probably like count down the days. But say you only focus on that, you're gonna get there and then realize that, dude, I was so focused on today, on that day in the future, that I neglected things I needed to do today. And now you're gonna be less than you were capable of when you get there. So
Yeah,
I'm I'm not saying I hope people get TJ. I'm not saying that I hope I get the equivalent of TJ or whatever, but it's such a cool perspective to see
absolutely, absolutely.
how it actually ends up being a positive if you use it that way.
And I've learned that talking to other people who have had Tommy John, that as easy it is to focus on that end goal, you have to try extra hard to really focus on each day and do your arm care, even though it sucks. I'll tell you what, doing arm care every day for an hour is awful. But
I believe it.
every time I have that dread of doing arm care for however long, I just have to you have to push through it and just do whatever it takes to finish that day, because one day could snowball, and you just want to make sure that looking back, you don't want to have doubt that you skipped on one day and oh, here you're hurt a year later or something, So the details matter. As
Yeah,
happy as I am that it's flying by, I'm really doing all I can to really focus on the day to day. So
yeah, totally. And just out of curiosity, you were in Double A at the end of last year, correct?
So started off the year last year in high A for about a month. Went to Double A for most of the year, and then was in Triple A the last 2 weeks.
How did Triple A go?
Really well, man. Got my first Triple A save at my last outing of the year. And the best part about that, so all my family, my dad's side of the family, is from Buffalo, New York, and we played in Buffalo, so I got to
Oh,
see a
dude,
lot of my family I haven't seen in years. My grandma, I got to see her. And then the absolute best part was, so I drove to that series in Buffalo. Sunday, I pitched on Saturday, got the save, and then Sunday, poured rain the entire day. We played at 11 o'clock, got canceled, and I was able to go to my grandmother's house and eat lunch with my entire family and watch the Bills Miami game. So it was surreal,
dude,
man.
that's
It was fun.
freaking cool.
Yeah,
That's
I
not a
haven't seen my
coincidence.
family in like 4 years. I'm not. It was amazing. I'll cherish that for
That's
the rest of my life.
dude. Well, first off, I'm very glad you got to do that. That's one of those God things where it's like the game got canceled, of course, right when you in AAA in
Exactly.
Buffalo, all these perfect things line up.
It was
And
awesome,
me and Ian spoke about that as well, dude. The what you just mentioned, the last part. People don't understand the grind of the minor leagues, man. People do not understand.
dude.
They think, oh, you got
It's
drafted, you're
tough.
a pro athlete, blah blah blah, bro. It is a grind, from what I
Grind,
understand.
man.
Obviously, I was the worst of all my friends at baseball, so I don't understand that
Don't say that,
from an
man.
experience. I mean, it's the reality. I've probably said it 3 times on the podcast already. It's just like literally all my friends are pro baseball players except me. Like I don't know what happened, dude. I got just not enough IVB on the fastball. Is
You had some IVB though. I know you did.
Oh, okay. I remember it wasn't enough strikes. That's what it was.
You know what? You're putting words in my mouth now.
Dude, it's the whole like that zone thing. You gotta no, but speak on
It's
that
a
if you
little
don't mind. Like
important.
just the grind. I mean, it's a grind, man.
It really, dude. It's a long season, 6 days a week, and sometimes that seventh day is a travel day. So, um, dude, I'm at the field for sometimes 10 hours a day, maybe more. I mean, I get there at 11:30, 12 o'clock, and I'm there. Sometimes I don't leave till 10:30, 11. It's a long time. Um, and I mean, there are days, especially after a bad outing. It's hard to forget about those bad outings, man. And you do your absolute best not to let it trickle into the next day. But I mean, they hurt. They suck having a bad outing. So being able to like dig deep and really find a way to flush it and move on to the next one has been something I've obviously people in the major leagues for 20 years still I
Yeah.
assume struggle with that being able to flush that. But it's a grind for sure, to say the least. And when you're done for the year, it's nice to be able to go home and just rest. But I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. But being able to grind with my best friends for the whole year, traveling, it's fun, man. It's definitely hard, not for everyone, but it's fun,
It's a unique
to say the
lifestyle.
least.
There's a reason that I mean so many kids dream of doing it. So I mean it's
Yeah.
one of those things that if you love baseball, man, it's it's a it's a minuscule price to pay for number one, the ability to literally play a game for a living, and also the financial and career upside if you stick with it and make it, which I think is very cool.
Hey, the minor leaguers, man, they don't make that much money, as you
No,
know.
not unless you're
It's a grind.
a big old signee, you know,
Unless you're a second round pick. No, I'm kidding.
like our dear friend.
I'm
No,
pumped for him, dude.
yeah, no,
That was
he's
so cool seeing his name chosen. Oh,
no, dude. That's I mean, have you been keeping up with the draft at all this year?
I watched the first couple picks. Yeah, why?
Tech had like 5 or 6 or something. Which I mean, even compared to when we were there, bro, they're definitely on the uptick. But the
Dude, they
last
are.
year was crazy, bro. First
You had
rounder,
we had a
second
first rounder,
rounder,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
first top 10. Gavin at 9 overall. Schobel
yeah.
second round. Biddy fourth round. Cade Hunter fourth or fifth round. Uh,
Those are some studs, man.
wait,
Those
who
are
else? Graham Firebed, but then there's somebody in between that I'm missing. I think. I mean, it was a lot of dudes, which is
Gerard.
cool. Oh yeah,
No, he
yeah,
was he
no,
was 21.
yeah, he was 21. But it's just cool, dude. I mean, it really is cool because, like Kerry Carpenter, for example, I'm been texting him back and forth a ton. Hopefully, gonna get
Bro,
him on the
he's
pod.
balling out.
Yeah, bro. That's like this is one of those cool things, bro. I walked into a bar with my dad a few months ago, and I noticed that the Tigers were playing, And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, Dad, my buddy plays for the Tigers, and we look up, and it's a replay of Kerry hitting a nuke, and I'm like, let's go.
He had a walk off, I think,
It might have
like a
been,
couple
dude.
weeks ago.
Yeah, dude, he's killing, or yeah, like a go ahead. He's killing it right now.
Yeah, he
So I'm
is.
trying to have him on. Had Ian on, obviously had you on. It's just cool to be able to be connected with some dudes that are at a really,
Think
really
about
high level of something.
where that program was when we first got there in 17.
Not
And where
there,
it is now.
not there, not there at all.
It's all right. We built that though. We built that program.
BIV. Yeah, I like to say I was a part of it, but I was a front office guy at Tech. I was big morale, team culture. You know,
You're the team captain.
not a ton of on field contributions on my end at Tech.
But you were without a doubt the team captain. Also, the glass water bottle. I want to invest. How do I
You want to
buy
invest?
one?
Yeah, I'm doing a venture capital round. It's
Hey,
actually
man,
it's 100 million for 10% equity.
tell me how much you need.
No, I'm kidding. No, but like, what's
No, I want to buy one though.
I just posted something yesterday. I ran into a little. Here's another dude. I wrote it down yesterday. Necessary obstacle, and not to compare a glass bottle to your physical body and whatnot, but
There's always
I
comparison.
ran into an obstacle with the
What was
supplier
it?
of the cork of the cork that I was going to use, and I realized they used like this chemical in the washing process that I wasn't cool with, and I was like, damn it, I was like trying to launch the product in a couple months, or in a couple weeks actually, but that's going to push it back a month, 2 months, 3 months. And
So what's the alternative to the
going
cork?
to I've been talking to like 7 or 8 cork manufacturers in Portugal. I might actually go fly over there and visit with them in person. I'm dead serious. I'm so
Fucking love
serious,
you, man.
because I'm not going to
That's
compromise
awesome.
on it. Number one, but the reason I bring this up, even in the context of this conversation, is like the necessary obstacle. Because if I didn't have that obstacle, then I wouldn't be able to learn, number one, more about cork, get a better
The
cork
cork
supplier,
industry.
et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So basically, corks are as important or more important than your UCL, is what I'm trying to say.
Dude, it's corny, man, but like the silver lining of stuff, you have to think about it that way. Glass
It's
half
all
full.
fortunate. It's all fortunate. What's going on for you on like the day to day nowadays? You basically just go to the field, come back.
I guess I'll run you through my routine. Wake up at 7 o'clock every day, shower, get some coffee with my buddy, and then go to the field.
A lot of cream. I mean, what type of cream are you using? Oat milk, almond, vanilla?
Zero. Jet fuel for coffee.
You got to tell that
Nah.
story real quick, dude. I don't want to interject, but you got to tell that story.
What story? Which one?
When we like forced ourselves to start liking
Dude.
black coffee.
I think Coach Nealer got us into it, but the first maybe couple weeks, dude, we were just, it was bad.
Yeah,
Drinking
I remember
black coffee
just
for
being
the
like,
first
dude,
time.
we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Well, because you thought that was the end all be all for coffee and manlyhood.
Yeah, we had
black
to be
coffee.
men. We had to be men. But yeah,
we wake up and I'm gonna say we woke up and then we watched the sunrise on the porch.
Get nostalgic.
The concrete weights, man. That was a fun year.
COVID, man. Look, dude, I had a good time. That was a lot of fun for me.
I'll stand by it. I would go back to COVID times in a heartbeat.
I had a damn good time, brother, and
it was fun.
I know maybe not everybody did, but bro, flawless, dude. Are you kidding me, man? I need to bring some of those videos back, dude. Bro, flawless. Oh my gosh, that's the best, the second best thing to do perfect.
Flawless.
We were so bored. We had this mini hoop. We probably spent dozens of hours trying to do a mini hoop.
I mean, we'd be done with our baseball and workout for the day, and we'd just go make trick shots. The one of Ian is the best one. You have to post that one day.
Where it hits him. Yeah, Bricks was trying to shot, and it bounced off like a table or a wall, and on video it just hits our buddy Ian. Hit him right
square,
right in the sack.
Square in the nuts. But
man, we had some good times. But yeah,
902 was a fun time. Yeah, so wake up, drink coffee, go to the field. Sometimes I've been intermittent fasting for a while, but I just got I've been eating breakfast more frequently. So, but let's see. Start the day, go to the gym, roll out, stretch, dynamic, lift for about 2 hours, arm care after that, eat, eat lunch, and then pretty much like my day is done after that. I don't have a lot going on post field. Um, been playing some Fortnite to pass the time, um, and then
You ever go to the
makes
beach at all?
dinner.
Like, you ever go surf?
Oh yeah, go to the beach. Oh, I've never surfed. No,
There are the waves
should I
big. Like
try it?
I've heard waves are pretty decent there.
Yeah, Juno Beach is like probably the biggest waves I've seen around here. Should I try it out? I don't know if I can surf, but
The only thing is, I heard there's Atlantic side of Florida is a little bit sharky, is what I hear.
just a little bit.
Yeah, but
I'm
surfing is
not
probably
afraid
one of the
though.
best feelings I've ever had in my life, frankly.
Really,
Yeah,
what does
and
it feel
that's
like?
coming from somebody who's surfed like 4 times. But take that with a grain of salt. But it is a remarkable sensation when you catch a wave.
Really?
It's freaking cool. There's a couple. Dude, we were in Costa Rica in June, and I remember being with my brother and being like, "We might be a little bit far out here, but these waves are like, I mean, they were
How far were you
for a
out?
couple hundred feet, but like they were probably like 6 to 8 foot waves, and we're like, which for anybody who doesn't know, that's like
That's a big
if
wave.
you're used to Florida or like Texas wave or like North Carolina has some big waves, but like it's not your average Joe wave. And I remember I don't know anything about like break zones and all this stuff, so I caught myself right in the where these waves are breaking, and so I was kind of like, yeah, I need to get out of here. Like
It
this
might, it
isn't for
might be
me.
your time, dude.
Yeah, I need to get better
But you
before I
rode
expect.
one?
Oh,
Did you ride one?
100%, dude. Yeah. There's a video on my Instagram of me surfing a 12-footer.
No way. Oh, I've
No,
seen
I'm
that.
kidding. No, it's like 12 inches. No, but surfing's very fun. Definitely recommend if you have access to a board or something, just go give it a try. It's also just good to
I
be in
don't
the
have a
ocean.
board, but I go rent one for a day. I'll be the guy that rents a surfboard.
Hey, you know what? Let's do it when I get to West Palm this fall. We
I
can
was
rip
about
it.
to say, dude, let's go try and surf one day.
100%. I would love that. Well, dude,
I'm a
I
little
got one more
nervous.
question for you, man. What is what is one piece of advice that you give somebody that was in your shoes junior year who looked up and made a series of decisions and isn't where they want to be and is overweight and wants to make that change to live a healthier lifestyle? What's the piece of advice you'd give that person?
Um, I think once you hit rock bottom, that being able to say enough is enough and having an end goal in mind, that doing the necessary steps to get there is not impossible. I think that whatever you want to do, you can achieve it. You put your mind to it, having the willpower within to be there and to end the cycle, the bad cycle that you're in. It's like never like it's not too much.
Totally.
I don't know how that
And
sounded, but it
I mean,
sounded
I think
profound in my head. But
what I gathered is that it's not impossible, and you just got to focus on the day to
I guess
day.
in essence, yeah, nothing's impossible
I mean,
if you put your mind to it.
you just got to focus on the day to day. That's even for me. I think probably everybody just being able to distance yourself from your goals, because we're also, at least let me speak for myself. It's a challenge for me. Like, I have a goal, I have a destination that I want to get to, and Alex Hormozy talks about this all the time, and it harkens back to another quote that I love, that the person that loves walking will walk further than the person that loves the destination. So it's how can you focus on your habits, not your goals? You can set a goal, but don't focus on it. Focus on the habits that
Yes,
will get you to it. And so that's a powerful piece of advice, man. It's not impossible. You just got to get your head down and start walking, literally and figuratively.
I think one more thing. I think that once I started with that process, and once I like saw results in me, and like once you see progress, it almost became an addiction to like to not stop and to keep doing that day in and day out until I got to
Totally.
where I want to be. But like it also, I didn't have an end goal after a couple weeks. I just wanted to keep becoming as healthy as I possibly can, and here I am now. But
Addicted to the
Um,
gains, man. That's the momentum. I think momentum is like the most powerful one of the most powerful forces in the world, dude.
I
And
agree.
that goes good. That goes both directions. You could spiral down, or for you, like, dude, 2 weeks of first it's one day. You know what? I'm gonna go one day, eat healthy and move. And then the next day you're like, oh wait, I feel good. I'm gonna do it again. Next
Yep,
day, 3 weeks in, you're like, holy cow, man, I've already lost 5 pounds. I'm looking better, et cetera, et cetera. And then you're off to the races, brother.
it's true addiction. It's wild, but it's a reality.
I once heard somebody say, I actually think it was a guy named Logan Fitz on Twitter. He said, everybody's addicted to things. Some people just pick their addictions better.
That is true.
Take that how you want, but I think there's some merit to it in regards to, like you just mentioned, the addiction that is seeing gains in your physical body, especially when you're at a
It's
big negative.
it's otherworldly, man. I love it,
Bro, I'm stoked for you. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing that. I think that's gonna be
dude.
I think that's really
Thanks for
valuable
having me.
for me. I take a lot of value from this conversation and this type of conversation, just hearing your story and hearing you
As do I.
learn how to overcome something like that, as well as your injury that you got going on now, and finding the silver lining and the blessings in it, man. I really appreciate you. Also,
100%.
happy fucking birthday, brother.
Happy birthday. I might indulge with some ice cream tonight. I don't know yet,
Dude, I
dude.
think I'm gonna get some ice cream for you. Just out of
Nope.
solidarity.
You're not real, dude.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Hey man, but I really appreciate you, bro.
Of course, man. I appreciate
Really
you
good
too,
talking.
man. And hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, likewise.